Hello, welcome to game 2 of the Allies tournament. So, with respect to new cards here, we have the Wizards, which is another rotating pile. At the top of the pile is the Student. You see the name at the back there. There's also Courier. So Courier lets you discard the top card of your deck, look through the discard pile, and then you can play an action or treasure from it. It could be non-terminal if you, for example, on this kingdom, you have a hunting party in your discard. Courier will let you play the hunting party from your discard, and you get the extra coin from it, which is nice. And the ally that we have here is the Peaceful Cult. It lets you trash cards from your hand based on the number of favors that you have. The Liaison here is the Student. You don't see it in this view of the kingdom, but once we switch back to the regular view, you will see the Liaison title at the bottom of the card here. With respect to actually playing the kingdom, to me it looked like some kind of hunting party stack. I didn't really know what you wanted to do here. Again, new cards, just trying to feel things out as best as possible. So we take the Peaceful Cult. We remember we always start with a favor. And I trashed the estate straight away. I didn't really see a reason to not do it. Maybe there's a reason to hold on so you could trash the Haunted Mirror at your leisure to get the ghost. Maybe. I rather have a deck with one less estate in it from the beginning, so we took the trash straight away. I think about Courier here, but I don't really know what the Courier is doing at the beginning of the game, so I opt not to take it. I just go for a plain old silver, get me up to 5 for Vampire or Hunting Party. Sean also trashes and they pick up our Student. So I also want a Student. Student, yeah, there you go. Here's Student. So you may rotate the Wizards. They're all the Wizards on the right of screen. Student, Conjurer, Sorcerer, and Lich. The Student can trash a card from your hand, non-terminal. If it's a treasure, you gain a favor, so it lets you use Peaceful Cult. So you could trash very quickly with the combination of Student and Peaceful Cult. And you put it on top of your deck. So it can go back on top of your deck as long as you're trashing treasure with it. The coppers, basically. You don't get any of these benefits if you trash estates. And as we dig deeper or rotate the piles, we'll look at the other wizards. This is a very wizard-heavy game, as you'll see later on. So I do take the Student. They go for cavalry, which is fine, which is reasonable. They open with the 3-4, which in the voice chat they said is better than 4-3, and they're right, because on 3-4 they could open the Student, buy the cavalry, and hopefully draw into the Student, get a trash straight away, maybe top deck it, and move on from there. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out. I try a similar trick here to look for my Student. Nope, not working out. Out comes their Student now. Again, I assume the choice is to choose between trashing an estate and a copper. They go for the copper to top deck the Student, and they get a cavalry out for a couple horses. So here, I choose not to rotate. Conjurer is a gainer of 4 cost cards, and I didn't really want to reveal that for them. You would very happily pick up a lot of advisors. There aren't actions on the board, so you can't play too many conjurers. That's not true. There are actions, they're just hidden, but you have to work for it. At any rate, I didn't want to reveal the conjurer for them, so I didn't rotate the pile. And on 4 here, I could get another cavalry perhaps. I didn't really want another cavalry. I thought we had no actions in the kingdom, but I was wrong. There are actions, and you'll see it later. So that's why I didn't want to clutter my terminal, my single terminal, what I thought was a single terminal with multiple cavalry. So I get the advisor instead. Sean trashes a copper with his Student, and top decks their Student, gets a silver. I go for another silver here. Still no 5 for me, yeah? Student is not great for getting to 5. I knew that going into the game. I still went for the Student anyway. I think it's still decent to get at the beginning. So Sean trashes an estate with their Student and uses a favor, which they gained off the Students, to trash the last estate out their hand. So they are estate free. Getting to 5 should be easy for them now. Gets a second silver. I get some horses and another advisor. Sean plays their horses, so they see almost their whole deck well ahead on the trashing at this point. Gets a cavalry. Student comes out, nicks the Haunted Mirror, which will then ask you to discard an action. Sean says yes, I'll get rid of my cavalry, gets a ghost with that. So they seem to be well and truly ahead here. And they gotta play a cavalry as well for a couple more horses. Opting not to trash here because I want to get to 5. I want to get a vampire, please and thank you. Hunting parties are well overdue. This is turn 7 and not a single 5 cost. That is not according to my plan. Plus, I haven't trashed nearly as much as Sean, so I'm well behind. I just have these advisors to show for my cause, which I'm not really sure how good it is. More cavalry action there. For Sean, drawing a couple extra cards, playing their cavalry to gain horses. I assume they did that to go find their ghost, which they did, and their ghost found a horse because their deck is full of horses, not surprising at all. So they'll have a great turn next turn. This is a very good advisor, better than I was expecting. Play the horse, and now I rotate the pile. Now I rotate the pile to the Conjurer. I really can't remember why I chose to do that, to be honest. Oh, I know why I chose to do that. You remember I looked at the trash just now? I have plans. I have huge plans. Great grand plans. But I need to get to the end of the wizard pile to do that. So I want to skip past the Conjurer. And don't tell Sean, okay? He doesn't. This is a secret from Sean. Here's where I started to make plans. Anyway, so the student top decks, I get Hunting Party 1 and Hunting Party 2, probably. Maybe that should have been our second vampire, but whatever. We want to play with the wizards. We don't want to play with vampires. Vampires is old news. Wizard is new and upcoming. I thought about cavalry. I thought about bannermists. I thought about a lot of things, but I chose the hunting party because, like I said, I have plans. I have plans. You'll see the plans soon, and the hunting party I think is the best thing for the plans. All right, lots of cavalries for Sean because of the ghost horse. Student is gonna continue cleaning up their deck. Oh yeah, here's Conjurer. Very nice. I do bring it up on screen. Gain a card costing up to 4. And importantly, at the start of your next turn, put this into your hand. So that's the duration effect. It stays out of your deck. And then you could draw it into your hand after. That is a neat effect. You can always find your Conjurer if you want it. Here are 3 silvers for Sean, and they get our Charm. So Charm is very good. Then some nice 5 costs on the Kingdom, one of which is a Sorcerer. Yes, a Sorcerer. I'll pull up the Sorcerer in a moment. Here, why did I not buy a silver? Maybe I thought I had enough. I didn't need any more. So I just trash a card and pass it back to Sean. And I think here they do get a Sorcerer. They use their Charm to gain Sorcerer on Hunting Party or something. At which point I do think I pull up the big screen for the Sorcerer just to make sure I understand how it works. So they are ahead. Thinner deck. They have the Charm, which is gain. And they have lots of draw from the horses. They keep replenishing that stock using favors to trash. So here they make an interesting play, right? Look at the log. Spends 1 favor, trashes a student. So they are saying, I don't care about the wizard pile. Do what you want with it. You know, I'll just play with whatever is on top of the pile. Right now it's a sorcerer. Here's your sorcerer. Brand new card. Card and action easily. Each other player names a card and reveals the top card of their deck. If you guess wrong, you get a curse. If you guess right, nothing happens. You get information, actually, which is valuable. I mean, you get information anyway. But you could get information and not a curse. If you know, you're psychic or you have good deck tracking skills. So there's the sorcerer. But this is not the card I want to get to. This is not the card I want to get to. The card I want to get to is the one below the sorcerer. So they go for Band of Misfits and they gain Sorcerer with it. The Ghost is played. I still don't have a Ghost. I'm very behind. The Ghost turns up a Cavalry. So that's nice for them. They'll have lots of horses. Who complains about lots of horses, right? So I should stop and point out there's a trick with Student. You could play a Student, non-terminal, trash a copper. It goes back on top of the deck. Then you could use your Hunting Party to pick up the Student again. and then trash another card. So if you have lots of draw, student can potentially trash multiple cards in a turn. Just something to keep in mind. Alright, so here, despite my lack of trashing, I am able to see, well, all the relevant cards in my deck, I believe, thanks to a combination of hunting parties, advisors, and horses. So here, student, I will use the student mostly because I want to rotate, and there's the card. There's the card, Lich. When you see big screen, I'll point out some of my thoughts here. I get a ghost finally. I have a peaceful cult, which I don't want to use because I would rather use the bat to trash to convert it back into a vampire. And I keep looking at the trash. Why are you looking at the trash? Why? But why? Why didn't you use the bat? What are you doing? Okay. So I do opt for the bat here. I take a charm. I think I'm not ready yet to pick up this Lich. But next turn, the Lich is coming. The Lich is coming. Anyway, Sean gets 4 horses. Sorcerer comes out. I'm psychic, so I know the top card on my deck at all points in time. That's obviously a hunting party, obviously. So I avoid it. Ooh, go back, go back, go back, go back. There's the Lich, there's the Lich. Go back, go back. Can we see Lich? Yeah. Hold on one moment. Let me find the Lich again. No, that's not Lich. There's Lich. Alright, so now we can talk about Lich. I first saw this card, I thought it was nonsense. It was garbage. It's only good for endgame because plus 6 cards, plus 2 actions. There's never been a card printed like this. Super draw Lich. Look at the caveat. Skip your next turn, right? Skip a turn. So you use it in the end game when there is no next turn, or you use it on an outpost. When you have an outpost, you know, you could skip the outpost turn, which is generally weaker than the actual turn. Something like that, right? Okay, that's not going to come into play very often. Maybe near the end. But it's so expensive and it's so hard to get through. Get to, you have to rotate so many piles. Lich, are you really worth anything? But then I read the bottom part here. When you trash this Lich, discard it so it doesn't get trashed like a fortress. Gain a cheaper card from the trash. And I was looking at the trash for the whole game. There are a few things in the trash that I would like to pick up. So the next time we look at the trash, we look at it more carefully and see what targets there are for the Lich. Go back. We just saw the trash there. There's the Lich. And here's the trash. So we could pick up a student, which is nice. We could pick up a cavalry, which is very nice. We get to draw cards. We get a plus buy. We could also pick up a haunted mirror and then trash it again to get multiple ghosts. I don't know how good it is, but you could do it. You could also gain coppers back, and you can even gain estates back. The card just has to cost less than Lich. So Lich is a kind of trash for benefit card. You could even trash your own hunting parties, pick it back up with Lich. Lots of options with the Lich here. And this is where I wanted to go. With the wizards, I wanted to get a Lich. Alright, so let's get back to the game now. Sean gets some horses, plays some cavalries, puts the charm into play, goes for a vampire and a hunting party, passes it back to me. I draw most of my deck here, probably all of the deck. I could even top deck the student and then play the advisor, just so that the advisor shows 3 cards, you know, full value kind of thing here. I don't have to do that, and really, at this point, I opt not to do that. I take all my money, 6 coins, I use the charm to gain a gold and a Lich. And this, okay, do not do this what I did here. This is nonsense. This is just for the tournament because I wanted to use Lich more quickly. I play the ghost here. And I play the ghost before the vampire too, which makes it even worse. If the ghost finds the Lich, I lose the game because I skipped 2 turns. Ordinarily, I wouldn't do this, but honestly, I didn't care because I just wanted to get to the Lich fast. If I lost, we would play another game. Fortunately, the 1 in 3 chance didn't come to pass. Ghost showed up a horse instead, and we get to play on. Vampire hands out a curse, I pick up another hunting party. And now we could start doing Lich things. What card is on top of the deck? Guess. I already know. What card is on. Oh, I don't know. It was a copper. Betrayed. But the curse is inconsequential. I have bats, I have students to trash. I'm not fussed about it at all. And I'm drawing very well. I have quite a few hunting parties that help me out with that. Alright, back to Sean. They could get a Lich here. But they don't have anything to trash with the Lich. Remember, they kill their student. So they can't actually trash the Lich. So they would only use it for the +6 cards and +2 actions, which I don't think they want to do. 7 with the charm is probably going to be gain 2 5s and take 2 points off of Basilica. Yeah, so they get a charm and probably another hunting party here. And with the vampire in the deck, they could get more charms or hunting parties or whatever. They are drawing their deck as well. So they take another band of misfits. Ghost finds a horse. Vampire gains more charms. All well and good here. I need to catch up on the charms thing though, because I will lose if I don't have enough charms. I definitely will lose. So now I need to find my student and my Lich together to start doing some allies exclusive things here. So here's the student. I rotate the Liches away from Sean. Not that they had any intention of getting a Lich. I trash the Lich and now I get my pick of what I want to pull from the trash. I pull a Haunted Mirror from the trash. Now I can pick back up my Lich and my Haunted Mirror. Right? I have my bat in hand, so I can trash the Haunted Mirror, then discard the Lich. See how much use the Lich is getting? Peaceful Cult lets me nick the curse off. Here, going to gain a card. It doesn't really matter what I do here. I'm getting 2 5 costs anyway. So we gain Haunting Party and Charm, and Bat will trash the Copper Haunted Mirror. Discard the Lich. Oh, I should have discarded the Lich. I could have discarded the Lich. It didn't matter what I discarded there. What is on top of the deck? Vampire. Betrayed. So there is actually a lot of value in the Lich card, especially if the trash is populated with some decent targets. And you have it for the end game, you know? Just in case it comes up, you know, just in case your hand is bad and you need to play the Lich and it might be the last turn of the game, Lich is there for you. Alright, lots of charms on the table. And lots of silvers as well. They go for hunting party to gain more charms, 2 more charms, and a band of misfits takes more points off the basilica. So piles they don't look thin, but they're actually thin with all this charm gaining 5s around. You know, duchies, hunting parties, charms, all of those can evaporate rather quickly. Okay, so we get back to the Lich action here now. Student, trash the Lich. Rotate for reasons I don't really know why I rotated there. Discard the Lich, pick up a cavalry so I could draw back the Lich and get an extra by this turn. Very nice. Play that cavalry, gain some horses. Look, I have 2 ghosts in my hand. Wow, spooky. I don't have a way to trash this curse right now. I'll have to wait for the bat to come back around. 10 and 2 buys. I'm gonna build up on the charms on hunting parties. I don't really see what else there is to do here, honestly. Maybe I lose, but if I lose, I lose. I was willing to risk the Lich anyways. This is very Cavalier Dominion. Very Honey Badger Dominion. Just don't care. For some reason, I gain a Conjurer, and I don't really know why. That was nonsense. I would have much rather that have been an advisor or something. And what ends up happening, I know why I gained the Conjurer, because I wanted another target for the Ghost, but I should have picked up an advisor instead of that. Actually, no, I had targets for the Ghost, so the Conjurer was nonsense. It was nonsense. But it actually turns out to be important somehow in the end game here. I was hoping that the Ghost didn't find it, but the Ghost found it. I also found a hunting party, which I won't complain about. I play both the ghosts there. Ordinarily, I would have split the ghosts, but I figure we were close to the end of the game and maybe I could make a big play here. However, Sean has a terrible turn. Only able to play a cavalry. I guess they have lots of charms and silvers in their hand. That is most unfortunate. Yeah, look at the charms. Look at the charms. They take a duchy. They do have a ghost though, and they gain another duchy of the vampire. So duchy pile is thin, and I get diluted here, so I cannot buy actions this turn, which certainly makes it difficult to pile out because I would want Hunting Party to be one of the piles. Probably impossible now if there was even a way. But it doesn't prevent me from gaining duchies because thankfully there is a single charm left. There's also vampire left as a 5 course, so even if there were no charms left, I was okay to gain duchies off charms. I spent a lot of time here thinking about what to do with this Conjurer. Because really, what am I gaining with the Conjurer? I thought about ways to end the game. Maybe I could gain 2 cemeteries for points. Maybe I could gain more Conjurers, advisors. I do gain a cavalry at the end of it, which seems reasonable. I get some extra cards from it, and I get to draw a couple cards. I'll probably get some extra horses in the deck. Sorry, and I don't know what I take with the next gain of the Conjurer. To be honest, probably an advisor. I don't think I take any cemeteries here. If I had the curse in hand, maybe, but I also have the bat in hand. You know, I don't need to use cemetery to trash. So I take 1 cavalry, looking for pilots on estates, on curses, on something. I don't think there is one, though. The second conjurer, okay, I do take the cemetery and I do trash a couple. Fine. Some points, whatever. And we are able to draw through all the way to the end of the deck here. Unfortunately, because it is the end game, there aren't too many more Lich tricks. I do pick up a student from the bin here with this trash of the Lich. So I could, trash Lich twice now. Pick up things from the bin. I don't think I have time to gain any more ghosts. I turn mark the Liches because it doesn't really matter. At this point, pick up back a Haunted Mirror. Put some horses in the discard pile and then draw hopefully into my Lich early, but the Lich was the bottom card of the deck. Too bad for that. And we have a bunch of money and some charms here. Play the last cavalry to get some horses. All well and good. All well and good. So here, I couldn't figure out what to do. I think I have double province if I wanted to, and maybe that's the safest thing to do. Sean had a bad turn last turn, so they probably have a good turn this turn, especially with a horse being played twice at the start of the turn. And maybe they could have piled out on duchies. Was my concern. And 2 provinces is not as much as 6 duchies, and I'm already 7 points behind. So, I decided to cut them off at the source kind of thing, and I go for as much duchies as I can manage here, as much points really as I can manage, incorporating duchies into the mix, of course. So I initially wanted to trash that Haunted Mirror, but I needed the money actually. They got up to 10, gain from 3 of these charms. I take a vampire, I guess. Yeah, that's more gain, so I guess that is good. Gain some duchies, buy a duchy, use the bat, trash the Lich, and you know what I do? I pick up an estate. Max points. Max points. It's been very thrilling to trash this Lich multiple times and just have your pick of things from the bin. And that estate is going to turn out to be critical in this last turn here. Sean gets to the end of his deck, finds all the charms and whatever. We have our discussion at this point in voice chat about different lines that they had. They have a tie if they want it because I guessed wrong of the Sorcerer, but also because I picked up the estate last turn from the trash. So they could get 2 duchies and probably a cemetery somehow while emptying the piles. They calculated that they were able to do that. Alternatively, they could not touch the duchies. They could go for provinces and then leave it up to me. I don't have my ghosts in play this turn, but what we figured out is that I do have the Conjurer still. So I could conjure 2 cavalries, draw 4 cards. That's pretty good. The extra 2 points is coming from the Basilica, actually. So they didn't have money to buy more than the 2 duchies, I guess. So 2 duchies overpay would get them 8 points, which ties me, actually. So in the end, they decided that the tie was as good as they could get on this turn. I very easily could have lost this game at multiple points because they trashed more quickly. They had the ghost earlier. They had charms earlier. I think they have more charms than me. Yeah, look, they have 5, which means I have less than 5. And they take the tie here. Anyway, so we get out alive. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.